Welcome back. Episode something or another. Not quite sure. 40-something.
50.
50? It could be 50.
Could be.
It is not 50. But
It's close, is it not?
Close.
Like, was it not?
Yeah, we had to, we were about to start, and we had a spider right here on the mic stand, and I tried to kill it, and it ran under Amanda's chair, so we're hoping
so when
for the
you
best.
hear me scream, it's because the darn spiders come out.
And we've got Winston here. He's going to sit in again with us, and I don't know if he's a spider killer, but maybe if it makes its appearance, he'll come out and take care of
Winston's
it.
a wimp.
If he wakes up, because he's going to take a nap. That's what he does when we start recording. But that's fine. We got a couple of things to talk about today. One thing is yard sales. We want to talk about that because we had one yesterday. And then there's a story I want to tell you about with Mr. Beast. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get to him in a minute, but it's just an interesting story.
Okay.
That maybe you'll find interesting, but I did.
Question for you.
Question for me. Right now? Or
right now.
Okay.
Do I look like a picnic blanket?
You did remind me that we're going to go on a picnic here after the episode.
Okay.
So,
I thought that too, but...
It looks like you said, hey, there's a tablecloth. I don't have anything else to wear. I'm going to wrap it around my waist and voila.
Wow.
Which
you
is
just
fine.
Went in for it.
Which is fine.
Thanks.
That's fine. But
I was trying to be patriotic.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Your earrings are patriotic.
You didn't say my earrings?
I do like your earrings. They're patriotic. You are patriotic colors, but the skirt is a picnicky theme. Yeah.
It was between this one or blue.
Yeah. If you had a basket in your hand, I would say we are going on a picnic.
Oh, I should have came in with a
You
basket.
should have.
I should have.
So we want to talk about yard sales because we had a yard sale yesterday. We've had yard sales in the past. We've gone to yard sales in the past.
I love going to yard sales.
We used to go to yard sales all the time, and I would like to still start going, but nobody wants to get up as early as I do and go, like, find the stuff. You don't get up early. Let's just put it that way.
You have to tell me we're going, and I will get up early.
No, we can make plans to say, all right, we're going to yard sales this Friday night. I can say, all right, I know there's a bunch of yard sales tomorrow. Let's get up and go to yard sales. You'll be like, okay, just get me up. 8:15 we'll be leaving the house.
Bull. Loney.
It's true statement.
No, it's not.
If I got up and woke you up at 5:30, if I got you up at 5:30.
Why are we getting up at 5:30?
See, there you go. See, I could say
anymore.
6:15. You'd be like, why are you getting up at 6:15? So see,
I try to let you sleep.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
anyway,
I try to make you sleep in.
Yeah, so
I'm still scared of spider.
I want to be, you should be hitting the yard sales no later. You should be at your first yard sale no later than 7 o'clock.
No later than 7.
That's what yeah. And if a real statement to me is I'm leaving at 6, going to my first yard sale. That's real to me.
Okay, if we had a plan of action, if we had a list of yard sales and we weren't just driving around. Okay, so like we used to get the paper and you could mark out and you could map out, I guess you would say. But they don't do that anymore.
We used to get the paper and you'd look and say, hey, there's a bunch of yard sales.
Yeah,
so
you would get that on
matter.
Friday night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you had to get up early.
You just knew they were in and around town and say, hey, we can just hit them with it. Now it's like, let's just go. Well, if you saw a sign that said, yard sale tomorrow, you might see one or two, whatever to say. I know there's a couple out there at least. But now it's like you go out, you just drive around and find them. You kind of zigzag back in our town to, you'll run across. It's summertime.
So that's why I think it's not.
You want to get started early anyway because it gets so hot now.
That is true.
But I want to get there before people find the good stuff before it gets gone.
I don't know.
So we don't do it anymore hardly. I don't. We went, I think, maybe to one last year.
Maybe.
And that was just because it was beside this park that we went to and we walked around it. Was that not the same time? We walked up the park and then there's a yard sale right next door to it.
It's because it just seems like there's not many.
No, there's still a lot out there.
Then you need to find me some.
At one time, the city was going to put a tax on you'd have to have like a permit to have a yard sale and stuff like that. And
that's a negative.
That's a big 2 thumbs down with me.
That's a negative.
Leave me alone. Let me sell my junk. Exactly. This stuff's already bought and paid for probably several times over, and you're going to tax me again for selling it.
No, you're not.
But
anyway,
we'll get off that point. So we had a yard sale yesterday, and reason being that's
fine.
So your father recently passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just need to clean out the house and get furniture, stuff that we know that, hey, we don't want anybody, anything that we had found that anybody needed or whatever. We've kind of gave, a few things here and there. But everything else is like, look, we just need to start trying to clean up and get rid of some stuff. We'll have a yard sale. So we planned this out. And then all last week, this is Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday, by the way. A day that we do not want to record on, but it always happens.
We got to get different.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because we had the yard sale yesterday. So that was be Saturday. And the week leading up to it is taking stuff that we have to add to the yard sale. If we can find some stuff, whether it's clothes, shoes, furniture.
My dad, he didn't have much stuff.
He didn't have.
He was not a...
I will tell you this, though. Once I started pulling this, once I cleaned this
the furniture?
We started cleaning this stuff last Saturday. And that just, any kind of furniture, anytime that you're going to just kind of wipe stuff down and get it ready, I mean, that's a chore anyway. So we did that. But when I started hauling this stuff outside.
Because you didn't wait on me.
Yesterday morning, because I had to get there before you did.
Because you didn't wait on me.
How many end tables do you need?
But you brought a couple from here.
I did. But
right?
Still, maybe.
Yeah.
But
he had tables.
Kitchen tables? What?
He
Well,
had little tables everywhere.
I guess you call it maybe like a dining room table, possibly with the 4 chairs. Yeah.
That was the kitchen table.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Over there in the living room next to the fireplace.
It's
yeah. A table.
It's a table with 4 chairs. Yeah.
And a bar stool, a couple of bar stools, a couch, a recliner that we gave him because he had complained that his other recliner was broke, and he sleeps in a recliner because he didn't like sleeping in a bed, so he's used
after
to
his heart surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're going to give him a recliner that was still new to us.
Mm-hmm. It was still good.
We bought it because I had I had back surgery. Let me think this through. Neck surgery or back surgery? Neck surgery.
But then we didn't like it.
Needed something because I knew I was going to have trouble sleeping, so that was going to give me a better option. So we bought this recliner, $350 maybe.
It wasn't much.
From Big Lots.
Yeah.
Nothing great,
fancy.
Nothing fancy. Reasonable. Got it. Was not a great recliner that I thought. So we thought, hey, here's a good chance. Hey, he could use it. Take it down there. He never touched the thing. It sat beside his other recliner that was broke.
That was broke.
He never replaced.
I don't understand.
That's so funny. Him. So we had that recliner, end tables, coffee tables. Oh my goodness, and all that. Had an old antique ashtray thing that had a little handle thing. It was porcelain on the top, a little handle, and a couple of shelves.
The ashtray had the hole in the middle, and the handle went through the ashtray.
Yeah.
And it set down on the top.
It's pretty neat.
And then there was a bottom, I don't know what you call it, the bottom of the tray.
It was it was wire type.
Yeah, it was wire, so it had another shelf.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it.
Yeah. So
maybe for magazines?
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Furniture back then and now, they're designed totally different because of your needs and stuff. Like this is designed for cigarettes.
I never seen him use that, by the way.
I know.
He never used that. So
all we could figure out is this came from your mama's house.
I think so.
I think. It must have. This thing could probably be 60 or 80 years old. And it looked old. And I researched it and found some that said that with antique, vintage type stuff that could be kind of pricey. And then I found stuff that looked like it too that was worth $15. So we're like, this could or could not be expensive. And sure, we can hold on to it, but really, do we need to?
Yeah.
Let it go.
Of
course, we sold it yesterday.
Of course we did.
And then some tools and just odds and ends, glasses, and then we mixed in our stuff with it and all that. So what we're getting to, go ahead.
So my dad was a glass drinker. He didn't drink out of plastic stuff.
Mm-mm. Just coffee, though. No, he drank coffee out of a plastic coffee cup.
It was a plastic.
Just like you'd get it.
It looked like it came from a restaurant. is exactly
it
what
does.
that looks
I
like.
can remember you get like a brown coffee cup, plastic coffee cup.
That's what I'm thinking
a lot
of.
Places that you get coffee at.
That's what these look like.
But this one was black.
And that was his favorite coffee
And it
cup. But
possibly
now
had a
when he
logo
drank
on it.
Pepsi or whatever, it was always out of a glass.
Yeah.
We always had glasses.
Yeah.
Never plastic. And I hate glass.
Yeah, I'm good
All
with
we got is plastic.
I'm good with plastic. But the glass will hold its coolness a little bit.
Maybe.
A little bit better.
Maybe.
Yeah, he had a lot more cups in place that a single person really needed.
Well, none of them matched.
And none of them matched.
None of them matched.
And then he had green glass with a white. How do you explain this? You could say antique-ish.
It reminds me of what some people eat like a sundae out of.
Yep, that's right. That
you
kind
know,
of squarish,
that kind of
like a pentagon
glass,
type.
And then it had that bottom on there.
Yeah. So the whole thing is green except the bottom. The bottom is clear glass. The rest of it is
it's like a frosted.
Green.
The bottom was like frosted, wasn't it? I think
Maybe so.
Anyway, he's had them forever.
Had those forever, so there's no telling.
Those were Mama's.
Yeah.
No, those were his Mama's.
Mm.
So those were my great grandmother's.
Yeah. So those were old.
So those were old. But we gave those to a family member because they wanted
But he
them.
had promised those to, I guess, everybody.
I guess he did.
Promised those to you and several other people, so we just felt like it's better just,
I really didn't want them.
Yeah, but since he promised
But I would have never told him that.
Yeah.
So.
Because he always said they're going to be yours one day.
Always, one day. So, yeah, we had to drag all that stuff out.
Yeah, it's just, my question is yard sales worth it? And let's do the pros and cons in having a yard sale. Depends on what your team is. Do you have a team in your yard sale project, I guess you'd say? If you got several people involved, yes, hey, you can throw this thing together pretty good. It's a lot of work, don't get me wrong. But if it's just a couple of you doing it, is it really worth it? And depending on your location, are you able to advertise? Are you putting signs out?
Location.
All that stuff. So we found out yesterday.
I thought we were.
We found out yesterday
the highway.
That we had high hopes for something and high expectations, and we shouldn't have. At least to me. I'm going to speak for myself.
I think we sold more on Facebook when I put pictures on Facebook than we did sitting there. But every person that came bought something.
That's right. Our first group, it was a total of $14 that they bought, and I basically let them price it the way they want to. It was some good old boys, good old country guys, and I guess a wife, maybe.
I guess, maybe.
Just, asked me how much for this and
just
how much
out
for
riding,
that.
hunting them.
Yeah, with some tools and some, hey, and that's what I'm telling you. These were like heavy-duty staples that are in a little box.
I know,
thing.
they asked me, and I didn't even know what they were.
And then a plastic handle old axe, like a hatchet.
Yeah.
And then some wiring that I knew that somebody would use.
$1.
And I know it's expensive if you go buy new, but I'm like, I'm not going to cheat nobody out of anything. So when he asked me how much for this, I said, what do you think? And he's like, oh, you tell me. I'm like, look, I'm not going to jip you on anything. Whatever you think's fair, that's what I'll sell it to you for.
And have we not talked about that? We don't like when people do that.
I know.
Just give us a price.
Yeah, it makes me mad. If I go there and you won't give me a price. But you just
done somebody like that.
Because I did not want to jip them. Plus, in my mind, I'm thinking, if I tell this guy $10 for this thing of wiring, I don't want in his mind think this guy's crazy. Why does he want $10 for it? So I'm just like, you tell me, I don't want to rip you off.
So now do you look at yard sales different when stuff's not priced and you're going to go and have to ask people?
Nope. No, I still have the same thing. Why do you not have this priced? If you're going to have a yard sale, you price it before I get there so I know what you want for it.
I didn't price it.
I know. Look, I know. I did it. I didn't price it and I put it out there because I want them to tell me what they want. Because I want it gone and I want a fair price. You tell me. And if you jip me, I hope you can sleep good tonight for, whatever. I don't care. But the little axe or the, what I call it, yeah.
It was like an axe handle thing or something.
I just said it.
You said axe.
It's a smaller axe. What do you call it? It's just a hatchet. A little plastic, plastic handle hatchet. He wanted to know how much for that. I said, what do you think? I said, $1. He said, how about $2?
I was going to say $2 and Jody said $1 and I'm like.
And he said,
what?
Sure. So that, and then he bought some other. But anyway, we'll get off of these guys that's at it. But, just some good old country people that came up there talking about fishing and all kinds of stuff. But, so I found out that the sign I put on the side of a major road might not have been big enough, and maybe I should have had more, and I wasn't able to write like with a magic marker on it what an arrow point, which it was common sense knowing it was there. And then we didn't have enough signs because by the time I did that, there was only one sign for one side of the mailbox. I needed one on the other side to get traffic coming from the other way. And at the end of the other road, I should have had a sign down there because we didn't realize what was down there and how busy the road is, and to get people drawn in. So we lost business if you want to look at it that way.
I don't know.
But when I thought the road, because when I cut grass and all that, there's a ton of cars that come down this road. But when you sit out there at a yard sale and watch cars go by, nobody comes by.
Nobody.
So there was no traffic.
But the weekend before the 4th, are people gone?
I don't think you can
blame. Do people vacation the week? Okay, so if you say they vacation the week of the 4th.
There's a lot of local people around there. They're not vacationing. Now, next weekend for the 4th of July, that Saturday after, are people going out saying, let's hit some yard sales after the 4th? They've got their check. They got their money in their hand. Or is that going to be a waste? Should we do another one to try and clean up next Saturday? Or do we just wait and do it in a couple of weeks?
I don't know.
So many factors. It depends on how holiday. That's why. Look. All right, let me get on holidays for a second.
No, we're not putting all holidays on Saturday.
All holidays go on Saturday.
No.
None of this different every... Thanksgiving's not on every Thursday anymore. We're throwing it on Saturday. Your 4th of July, that might be on a Monday next year, and a Wednesday the year after that, and a Friday this year. We ain't having none of that anymore. It's dedicated to a certain day, and that's Saturday. All holidays are on Saturday, no matter what. I ain't giving no teachers union a 3-day weekend with federal workers 3-day week. No more of that. That's what it's designed for.
I don't care.
That's what Labor Day was. Yeah, you were one of them because you like that extra day off.
You got that right.
People like me don't get it. We have to work holidays. We have to do that. So I'm for the working man that has to work these holidays. I'm putting on Saturday. Now I realize that
you work on Saturday too. So what's the difference?
I'm doing it for the people. I'm not doing it for the selfishness of me. I'm doing it for the people.
Then the people like the 3-day weekend.
I realize that people. I'm doing it for the people that don't get that 3-day weekend. Yeah. And I realize that people work on Saturday. So they're saying, Jody, this makes no sense. I have to work on Saturday. Now
exactly.
No. So I realize it, but I'm sorry. Everything's on Saturday. Christmas is now on Saturday. That's perfect. We can shut everything down. You ain't got to say, hey, what does Christmas fall on this year? What day of the week? I ain't got to look it up. I automatically know it's a Saturday.
We're talking about yard sales, not holidays.
I'm done. So, but I was just saying it depends on how a holiday falls if you're going to have a yard sale also. So
the stuff's already drug out. It ain't going to take us.
Well, most of it we just put under the carport. So, yeah, the big.
Hopefully it's still there.
Yeah.
If they need it, I guess
I'm willing to do it just one more time, and that's it. After one more time, it's like free to a good home or it's being burnt.
You going to put it out by the side of the road and say free?
Yeah, free. Mm. So that's my question. So are yard sales worth it?
I think if you like it, it is. And we do like it.
I think it's all about your location. If you
it's totally about location.
Plenty of vehicles going by. Yeah, it's worth it.
But after we got it set up, we just sat there and chilled.
Oh, it was
It was nice to just sit there.
I know. But it seemed like it took about an hour before we got. It wasn't an hour, but it felt like it. For our first
straggled in.
Our first customer. Hey, and let me tell you this.
Well, the first customer was kind of early, and then after that,
yeah. But let me do this. Now, don't get me wrong here, but do people not know how to park at a stupid yard? We have a driveway. All right, you come off the road and you pull into the driveway, right? And you can go left or right and park in the yard, or you can park in the driveway. That's fine. Don't stay in the road and just park and block. Now, there's a fence, right? Mm-hmm. So you park in our driveway, long way, like you're parallel with the road. You're still in the road. you're blocking the drive.
You just pulled off like on a shoulder.
Yeah, it's like you've just put your emergency lights on and you've just stopped in the middle of the road, pretty much, right? That's almost like it is. And we had 2 people do that, like it wasn't nothing. I'm like, are you? And I hope that one person doesn't listen to this, and they might be a listener. But I'm questioning you. I don't understand, because I think of other people when it comes to that. I'm like, I don't want to block anybody coming in, especially getting out. Amanda got quiet real quick when I brought this up. I don't know why, but I couldn't understand that. And then one of them was an Alabama fan. I found out because he was questioning a lot of stuff. We had a little jawing session when it came to pricing on something.
Was that the mailman?
No.
Well, he blocked it too.
Mailman, I'll give it to the mailman because he's got signs and a light and all that stuff. He just hopped out for a minute.
He hopped out.
And he did something very questionable too.
I didn't think he was even going to stop.
Let's talk about him.
I didn't think he put his car in.
We're going to get to him here in just a second. I'm going to ask you something about that.
I don't know what he did.
All right, I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, dear.
But before that, all right, we're back to the guy that was an Alabama fan. I had some Auburn stuff that was for sale.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's asking, who's the Auburn fan? And I'm like, it depends on who's asking and what, why you're asking. Anyway.
If you're not from Alabama, you probably don't know that we're talking about Alabama and Auburn football.
Everybody knows Alabama-Auburn rivalry. So I'm not like I used to be. I don't care anymore. That might be why, because Auburn isn't worth anything anymore. They're just terrible and whatever. So he brings a hat up there that I had $3 on it, and he said, he's the one that... He's the one. Oh, okay. What'd he say? He said, will you take $2 for it?
Yeah.
And then something like, since you're an Auburn fan, will you take $2 for it? And I said, well, since you're an Alabama fan, I should charge you $4 for it. And I said, well, how about this? Let's just meet in the middle and you pay $3 for it. That was back to the original price.
Right.
Just because I was being a smart butt about it.
And it was a name brand. That's why I had $1 more on it than the other ones. I put 2 on the other ones and 3 on that one.
But I gave it to him for $2. I know.
You cut me.
I know.
You cut me.
All right, back to the mailman. We had some people there that we knew that we haven't seen in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to him and everything. And so the mailman comes by, he stops, he gets out with the mail, and he's asking, you kind of what, hey, do you want me to keep delivering? Mm-hmm. Or just let me know if you're going to start having it redirected to another address. So then he asked about the tattoo on the leg of the person that's...
Oh, yes.
That's right, that we're talking to. And they had a big tattoo on their leg. And this tattoo is of a dog. Her dog, apparently. Her dog. It looks like a French bulldog, maybe. I didn't
see it.
It was very detailed. It was nice. I mean, I'm not going to have a picture of a dog on my leg or my chest or my back or my body. No, I'm not getting a dog tattoo. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But if you're into that, that's fine. No,
it's just stuck up your butt, so you don't have to have
I have a dog right beside me, so I don't need a tattoo. Right?
Anyway.
So, but it was a nice tattoo.
Yeah.
And so he was saying, hey, who did that? That looks good, all this kind of stuff. And then she said, well, the guy also, did the tattoo of the dog that's on my back. And so she spun around. And what kind of top did she have on?
A tank top.
Just a tank top or whatever like that. Well, the dog tattoo is kind of on the shoulder, going
under
into the
strap.
back. Yeah, all this kind of stuff right there. So you really couldn't see it good. So old mailman decides to go ahead and grab the old strap and kind of
I felt very uncomfortable.
Pull it over right there so he could see the whole tattoo. And
she was okay with it.
She was okay with it, but I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I would have been I would have just been like, yeah, that's nice. What? I wouldn't even say what little bit I can see of the dog. I wouldn't have said anything because then she might have pulled it over so you could see. But I sure wouldn't have put my hands on her and pulled that out. That was very. And her husband was standing there.
Yeah.
So. I meant to ask you about that later on, but yeah.
I wouldn't have liked it myself.
No. Don't you ask permission?
I don't know.
I mean, if you were going to do that?
I don't know. Anyway.
I didn't need to see the tattoo that bad.
Yeah.
That way. So.
I could just glance at it.
That was very interesting. But
so, we had an interesting day yesterday.
Yeah. So, are yard sales worth it? They're worth going to. I tell you, we went to a year or two ago. All the yard sales that we went to, there was nothing. It was either overpriced or it was just junk.
Well, this year we should do the 127-mile yard sale.
127-mile yard sale. Mm-hmm. Where's that?
The one that we've done before.
I thought that was called like the 1,000-mile yard sale.
Mm-mm. It's the 127.
Why is it 127?
I think that might be the road, actually, not miles.
Is that the one up in Tennessee that we went to at that time?
We usually start in Tennessee and come down to Nakalula Falls.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't it end like right there? Or is that when it kind of tapers off in the direction we don't go?
Well, that's where it starts. So we go on up and then...
But does it really start there if you're living in another state coming down south?
No.
Or are you going to say we're trying to get to the starting point?
It goes from here to here.
You start up there and you work your way down to the start. So, but anyway.
We should do that one.
I don't know.
We might. Take our mics.
Yeah, let's just gather up some more stuff. We'll have one more yard sale, get it out of my system, and I probably won't ever have another yard sale.
It's in your system, all right. I thought you was going to put me out there for sale.
If I can make $1 off of something, I think that's kind of like with some of that stuff. When I asked them, well, how much would you pay for it? It's something like, in my mind, I'm like, I am going to throw this away. I'm going to just get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So just give me something for it. That's what, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Just whatever the price they're going to tell me, I'll just take it. That's fine.
But I'm just thinking.
But I was also
you're totally opposite when you go to the yard sale. You won't even ask them how much.
You're right. But because it's just a different mindset.
You can't be
money.
that way.
Yeah, you can because you're making.
You can't be that way.
Well, I was, and I am.
What's the
I is
contradictive?
I'm contradicting myself.
Yeah.
I contradict myself all the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Am I using it right?
Yeah. Especially if you're going to be selfish about stuff. That's when you contradict yourself. Because hey, I want it this way for me, but not for others. Yeah.
I like throwing out prices.
That's fine. Whatever.
I like it priced. I don't like to ask for prices, but then
I get that.
I didn't want to price yesterday at all.
So this goes back to too. I
don't want to price clothes.
Yeah, but clothes do need, unless you have a box or something set up or a table and you just say everything on the table and you got like $1 or 50 cents or whatever.
That's what I did
and
yesterday. I'm like $1. Dresses $2.
That's easy. Everybody gets it. I had a thing over here to where it was tools, loose tools. Then it was a bunch of sockets, but they're separate and everything. And I'm thinking, I don't know if you went through all of them, you might have a couple of sets of sockets, but it is a ton of sockets. And I mean, if there's just a certain socket that you need, so I'm not pricing every single one of them. And then how do you price? I mean, some of those sockets are like $6 if you went and bought them new, but of course, I'm not going to get $2 for one socket. So 50 cents, I don't know. Tell me. If you need that socket that bad, just tell me what you want for it and I'll sell it to you.
But if you go to a yard sale, your stuff better be priced because Jody.
Yeah, because if I get up there and it's not priced, I'm gonna gripe to you and say, I cannot believe it. What are they thinking? Apparently, they don't want to sell it because it's not priced. That's the way I feel when I'm in a store or anything like that. If you ain't got,
we price the big stuff though.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't like asking about it because I don't really like talking to people. So that's the whole part of it.
You make no
These
sense.
people ask me the price, so I think it's like, so I'm obligated to talk to them now. I'm not obligated if you don't have a price. I'm just obligated to say, I guess I ain't buying it because you ain't got a price. I know, it makes no sense.
You make no sense. You keep showing them that.
What has she got on the yard sale? Have we covered enough?
Yeah.
On the yard sale?
I'm done with the yard sale. Until next weekend.
All right, let's talk about Mr. Beast.
Maybe we should do it on the 4th. You get more.
On the 4th?
Traffic.
No, people don't have yard sale. They're not. That's not.
I don't mean on the 4th. I meant next weekend is the 4th weekend.
The 5th. You're talking about
4th
the
of
day
July
after
weekend.
the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't care. I just know it feels weird to be doing that on a holiday weekend. But I'm good with it. If people will show up. Oh, but I was willing to do BOGO deals when they're towards the end. I was like,
all of it.
Yeah.
I think we just probably need to line it up and just take separate pictures of it and put it on Facebook and it'll be gone.
I think you do that.
Because that's what I did.
I think you do that. We do that Friday, like the Friday evening. And you post it out there and say, hey, this will be at the yard sale tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then see what happens. But then, all right, let's talk about this. If we're back on the yard sale. I was trying to get off the yard sale. So, if you put something out there and then you get messaged, or whether it's through a direct message or if they send you a text on, hey, how about this couch and this chair and this? How much are you got for all three of those, or whatever it is? And then you tell them, and then they're like, all right, I'm going to see if I can get so-and-so to come get it. And you're like, okay. And this is like late in the day when you're about ready to start shutting it down.
Shut her down.
Right. Right. And so an hour goes by. And it's like, I've cleaned up. And just those 3 or 4 pieces that this person is coming to get is just sitting there. I'm waiting. So what do? You text them, you message them, and you say, hey, were you coming to get?
I already told them to let me know.
All right. So, but you did it again, right?
No, I never did it again.
Never did it again.
Never did it again.
So, who's in the right and who's in the wrong?
I don't know.
You don't know. I know who it is. It's the person that tells you,
okay, I'm not coming today.
You should have said, I don't know for sure if we're going to be able to get it. Probably not. Can you hold on to it? Or whatever. Tell us something. Don't leave it up in there like, yeah, we might be coming, we might not. I don't, no, tell us. And then, but the thing is, you don't ever answer back. Did they ever answer back?
No.
What's up with that? Look, I've lost it for society. Society is over with. There's like respect for people, all this stuff. It's over.
It's gone.
It's gone.
All right, no more yard sale.
I just don't understand. People don't think about you leave everything open, right? It's like, because I don't care anything about what y'all are doing. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get so-and-so to come get it. And then I'm just shutting that door, closing that window. I'm not talking to y'all no more or anything while we're like, what do we do? Are we still waiting on them? If somebody comes by and wants this, can I sell it? Or are they supposed to let you know something? Or are we supposed, what is the deal? Oh, we don't know because they won't ever answer you, tell you anything. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Get off your soapbox.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
All right, so who do you think Mr. Beast is?
I don't know. I just know the name.
I haven't read this article in a week or so I don't remember exactly.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we want to talk about it.
Hurry up.
Mr. Beast
Time's ticking.
is like an influencer, YouTuber.
Yeah.
He's the guy that figured out the algorithm for the YouTube and started getting views, follows, subscribers, whatever you want to call it. And then they just got millions and millions. And now he's like a billionaire because he figured he got to the point where he's got a team now that they dissect. He's the one that realized that, hey, at 3.5 seconds, if you haven't got the people's attention, they're scrolling. They're gone. He's really realizing how important a thumbnail is. He's realizing this. He's realizing that. He's realizing that the 20-second mark, if you've stayed on topic, you need to throw something in there, bam, to keep them watching, to get that length in there. That kind of thing. He figured all that out. He broke the algorithm, in other words. That's what he's known for. So he takes over Disneyland for $500,000 for a date night in an empty park. Did you know you could do that?
I guess you got a lot to catch up.
A lot to what?
You need to catch up.
What do you mean catch up?
That's nice.
All right, Mr. Beast is pulling out all the stops for a one-of-a-kind date night with an eye-popping price tag. Would you pay, first of all, would you pay that kind of thing? If you had the money, would you pay that kind of thing for date night?
Sure.
At Disneyland? Did I say Disneyland or Disney World?
You said land.
Disneyland. That's California, right?
I don't know.
Disney World is Orlando?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that? Are you done?
I'm hungry.
I am too, but I'm like, I'm not going to tell you
I'm about to take my picnic blanket and go. I'm not sure. I have shorts on under the dress.
Okay.
He don't even give me time to change when we get home from church.
Because, yeah, I know. There's so much going on.
So much.
All right, so the content creator whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson. How do you go from my name? I'm Mr. Beast, but your real name's Jimmy Donaldson. He spent weeks planning dates for his fiancée and himself in a recent video sharing on YouTube. After the pair went on a number of romantic excursions costing anywhere from $1,000 to $100,000, talking about the other excursion, the couple headed to the grand finale, a $500,000 private night at Disneyland. Disney won't just hand over their keys to anyone, but for this once-in-a-lifetime date, they were given the entire park for one night, Mr. Beast said. I wonder what the time was. One night. You can't tell me that Disneyland, because they make a lot more than that in a day or a night. Yeah. So, they would be costing them money if they shut stuff down. So we got to be talking like 10 o'clock at night to 2 in the morning. Or I don't know. Something like that, I would think. The group did Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Do you know what that is?
I know there's a Star Wars theme, yeah.
Where they hopped on a ride, relished in the fact that there was no line, then built their own lightsabers. An activity that typically books out far in advance, so I guess it's a popular thing. Mm-hmm. Next up, the Disneyland's giant Ferris wheel. After a round of games, the group, so I guess he's got a group of friends. Probably, you know what I'm thinking? I bet he's got his content.
The wedding party.
He's got his content people.
Or the wedding party. You said fiance, well, so that makes me think.
But I'm thinking of videographers from his creative side.
That makes me think he took the wedding party.
Maybe so. So after a round of games, the group secured multiple stuffed animal prizes. Rounding out the night, they enjoyed a dinner at a flower-lined table in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Do you know where that's at? I don't know anything about it.
You won't take me to Disney, so I don't know.
I know.
I've been one time.
I know. Let's see.
I did not see the castle.
But that wasn't quite the end of the night, Mr. Beast admitted as he led the group to one last surprise, a private Disney parade complete with beloved characters, twinkling lights, and stunning floats. The day was truly once in a lifetime, the creator reflected.
Wow.
The video comes days after he revealed he is asking his mom to help pay for his wedding. Why are you looking at me like that?
What?
What? Did you not hear what I just said? The video come, he put out the video that this is what they did. Let them know, hey, I took my fiance.
He don't need help.
So the video comes days after he revealed that he asked his mom to help pay for his wedding. He don't need it? Okay. Despite being worth an estimated $1 billion per celebrity net worth, I guess that's either the newspaper or whatever it is, website, he claims he has very little money and needs his family's support to fund his upcoming nuptials. Responding to a post on X, which describes Mr. Beast as the only billionaire under 30 to have not inherited his wealth, the YouTuber with more than 400 million subscribers wrote, I personally have very little money because I reinvest everything. I think this year we're spending around $250 million on content alone. So, ironically, I'm actually borrowing money from my mom to pay for my upcoming wedding, and it has LOL, which I love that. He continued adding, but sure, on paper, the businesses I own are worth a lot. In addition to posting videos across several platforms, often featuring outrageous stunts and big-ticket giveaways, he also hosts the reality competition series Beast Games, which we watched one episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we got past one. I mean, I think it would have been very,
Yeah, I don't know why we went back. You didn't go back to it.
Which it awards its first season winner a record-breaking $10 million in prizes.
So why did you waste money and go to Disneyland instead of putting $5 million on your wedding?
You mean 500,000?
Oh, whatever it was.
It was 500,000. Well, I don't know. I mean, what does he plan on doing? All right, he's a billionaire.
Number one, it's usually the bride that pays for the wedding, not the guy.
But if you're a billionaire, are you still saying, hey, your parents, your mom and dad's going to have to pay for this, don't you know?
Apparently, he don't have no money for himself.
All right, so what I'm saying is, so you're a billionaire, you're lacking in money, cash, assets, I guess. You've got all this.
He don't got nothing in his bank account. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's not what I'm saying. That's what he's saying. So he's asking his mom for help. But now what I'm saying is, so how much is his wedding going to be? Are we talking, since he doesn't have a lot of cash on hand and all this stuff, is it going to be a simple...
Why wasn't that the wedding when they went to the Disney World?
I wouldn't think... Well, hold on now. Let's do this. Now, if he paid $500,000 for one night at Disneyland, and he's asking his mom to help pay for the wedding because he don't have much money, did he pay for the $500,000 at Disneyland or somebody else? Because I was about to say, well, is it going to be like a cheap wedding? But it ain't going to be a cheap wedding if he splurged $500,000 for one night at Disneyland.
Yeah,
so
tax write-off.
How does his mom have this much? I don't know anything about his parents or anything like that. I was just thinking he's somebody that just, they didn't have a whole lot, just a normal person, and he got all this wealth. Unless he's gave a bunch to them, and now he's asking for help. I don't know. That's crazy. I just found that story interesting. Whether you did or not, I guess that's a different question. I feel like I wasted my time, but the way you're looking at me, but whatever.
I don't understand why he don't got no money.
He just told you.
Because he invested.
Yeah, he's just...
Well, then pull that investment out. You should be saving.
Yeah. I think he's full of crap myself. That's what I think. I think it's just something he's saying.
That looks bad. I'm sorry. That looks bad.
If he came out and we find out, he's getting married, and the story comes out that he's asking his mom to help pay for the wedding because he doesn't have the assets or, cash assets to do it. Okay, that's fine because he reinvests all his money. Got it. But then if you start the story off where he paid $500,000 for a night of this, and then now he's asking mom, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. The story doesn't make sense. But
maybe it's fake news.
Fake news.
All right, I'm going to eat.
I am too. I am starving. We got barbecue. I'm ready for it. I'm going to eat me 3 barbecue sandwiches and some baked beans.
And some pickles.
What's that little full moon? What's the little
chow
sauce? Chow chow. Spicy chow chow kind of stuff. It's not really. Is it chow chow?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
We need to get a whole bucket of that and bring it home. I think I could put that chow chow.
They sell it.
I could put it on everything, I think.
We've had it
What
before.
about a taco? You think that'd go good on a taco?
I don't care for it, so.
I think it would. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check us out on YouTube. Look, I always talk about putting these videos, like last time we talked about the Costa Rica trip you had, and that you'll be able to see these monkeys.
They ain't even seen
stuff.
my monkeys yet.
No, I haven't even got it out there. It has been busy. I can't do it. I don't know. I'll try. Hey, when you see it posted, it's out there.
Comment.
So yeah, and that in TikTok. We're on TikTok. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Out.
We will see you next week.
Happy 4th.
Bye-bye.